Kenshi, the game that you have probably never heard about, and the game that surprised me a lot in the year of 2020. The game that was in early access from 2013 and got released only in 2018. But is it worth it? Let's first answer this question. What the hell even is Kenshi? And this is probably the most difficult part to explain about this game, because it is probably nothing like you have ever seen in any game in recent years of whole gaming. To explain it as simple as possible, Kenshi is post-apocalyptic sandbox RPG where your goal is just to survive. You're dropped into the harsh and unforgiving world where literally everything is trying and will most likely kill you. You're dropped there as completely useless creature and you need to survive. But even that does not explain everything about this game, because in this game you don't play as a single character, or rather you can play as a single character and be a lone survivor of the unforgiving world Mad Max style. Or you can get companions which all are individually controlled by yourself and play the game like an RTS where you have an ability to even build an entire cities. It is extremely difficult again to explain what this game is, but I can say exactly what this game feels like. This game feels brutal on every single step of the way, yet very satisfying. This game gives you the feeling that you are no better than anyone or anything else in this world, and anything that you want to be here, you have to achieve through hard work, sweat and blood, and I mean it literally. Here the game world is a character in this game in itself. A giant island, no, continent, with its own distinct biomes and a lot of cities and villages with a lot of factions, all with their own agendas stretching as far as you can see, and everything trying to either kill you, enslave you, or take everything from you. This is probably the only game in existence where you can be beaten up by a bunch of slave mongers, taken away into the slave camp and forced to do a labor. After that, witnessing the slave camp being attacked by cannibals, taken away and eaten by them. The scenarios that this game is throwing at you is simply amazing and terrible in its harshness. But is it worth it? If you are seeking challenging games, if you want a literal living world which lives and changes no matter what you're doing, even if you're doing nothing, the world which is different every time you go into it, the world where you can literally do everything that you want, whether you want to be an explorer, a farmer, a miner, a warrior, a bandit, a slave master, a cannibal, where everything is extremely difficult without any place for an error, then yes, this game is for you. And if you're looking for the farm simulator without any bandits, then of course not, this game not for you then. But before I'm gonna give you a final verdict about this game, I want you to give you some smaller details about the game itself for you to understand whether it is purchased or not for you. And I will try to do this for every single future game. So instead of giving this game an entire worth it part, I'm gonna break down every single element and tell you which parts are good and which parts are not. Let's start with the graphics. So graphics of this game is old. The game actually went into early access in 2013 and came out of it in 2018, so you can safely say the graphics is pretty dated. But because of this, it is pretty easy to run on older computers. And still, if you play games for the graphics, this game is not the great for that. Now about difficulty, is this game actually difficult? And to be fair, I will not call this game difficult, I will call this game challenging, because you don't have any difficulty level in this game. The entire game is as difficult as you will made it to be. If you want the game to be easy, play around the cities where you will be helped by other NPCs. And if you want it to be difficult, go alone into wilderness where everything will try to kill you. So overall, I will sum up difficulty like this: challenging and rewarding. What about the lore? Does this game has any lore? And yes, this game has pretty deep lore where everything and every space in the game has their own history and its own lore. Plus, every character has their own lore as well. But because the game is not actually presenting you everything on a silver plate, you have to uncover everything about this world by yourself. So if you're interested, you can uncover a lot of things. If not, then practically this game has zero lore for you. Again, everything is dependent on you here. What about the story? Does this game has any story at all? And no, this game is a sandbox game, so every single story that you want to have in this game, you will have to craft it yourself. And trust me, this game is as story rich as any other story driven game, because the stories that you are going to encounter in this game will simply amaze you and will be unique completely to you. Okay, what about replayability? Will you be able to replay this game over and over? And not that you will be able to replay this game over and over, you will replay this game over and over, because you will die a lot in this game, especially when you're starting, because you are going to die a lot, because you don't know what is happening, but because you don't know what will try to kill you, you will die a lot. So yeah, this game is infinitely replayable. Plus, because you can choose the different starting scenarios in this game. For example, you can start in a city, you can start starving in the middle of nowhere, you can start in army, you can start in squad, you can start a bunch of different scenarios. You're gonna have an infinite different types of replayability in this game. Plus, with the mods, it is even expanding even more. So how long we can expect to play this game? What is an hour number that you can expect from this game? It is pretty difficult to say, but I will try to at least. In order to understand this game pretty well, you need at least 10 hours of playtime in the beginning. At least 10 hours of playtime. If you will go through these 10 hours of playtime, if you will not be frustrated by the difficulty and challenge of this game, then you can easily get to 100 hours of this game, because if you'll play this through 10 hours, you will most likely understand the basics of this game and go exploring and finding out more and more and more and more. Because you are very careful, you will most likely play this game for a really long time. By 100 hours, I'm telling it very pessimistically. Most likely you're gonna go and play it for far longer if you understand the first beginning few hours. What about the pricing then? This is the thing that I want to talk about as well, because it's the Worth It series after all. Okay, the game is available on Steam and it costs $29.99 for the tier 1 countries. If you don't know what tier 1 means, is that the countries are usually divided into 2 tiers, tier 1s and tier 2s. Tier 1s are the expensive ones, tier 2s are the cheaper ones, or usually in the more poor countries. And the tier 2 price is $14.49. So because I myself live in tier 2 country, the game's full price is $14.49. Is it worth to pay for this game a full price? Yes, I would say it's worth to pay a full price. I myself paid the full price for this game, at least in a tier 2, but I would pay a full price for the tier 1 as well. But because it is very difficult to understand whether this game is actually worth it for you or not, because it's very specific, I would highly suggest to wait for any sale that you can and buy this game right away, because on any sales for any percentage, this game is absolutely worth it. I feel like this game is worth its price, and its sequel is already in development, and I have high hopes for this game and its future. Have you ever heard of this game? Do you want to play it? Are you enjoying harsh open world environment games where difficulty and challenge is dropped to its max? Let me know in the comments down below. As an overall rating, I again think that this game is absolutely worth the purchase. This will be it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.